Disclaimer, this channel assumes you talk to your DM and that you follow basic tabletop etiquette. If you want to know more about that, link in the description. Anyways, enjoy the video. Every once in a while, I get a message about people getting confused about circles being squares on a grid. What I mean by that is sphere AoEs like Fireball are shaped like a square. On a grid, they look like squares. I've already made a short explaining this, but shorts don't seem to be good enough, even when it's shown visually. And also my short catalog is kinda cursed. Here I want to do one last attempt, and if this isn't good enough, then I have no idea how to explain it to people. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where we throw square fireballs. This video is just for people who play on grids. Without a grid, spheres are circles. Let's just get that out of the way. If you play out the fight using a square grid, each square on a grid represents 5 feet. Even if you move diagonally to one square with your character, you move 5 feet. Everyone's on the same page here. Everybody agrees. Now let's get into what most people agree on when it comes to spheres on a grid. Here is a 20-foot sphere fireball. Everyone knows the shape of fireball. Here I drew a circle. From the new core rulebook, a sphere is an area of effect that extends in a straight line from a point of origin outward in all directions. The effect that creates a sphere specifies the distance it extends as the radius of the sphere. A sphere's point of origin is included in the sphere's area of effect. That's all it says. That's the entire sphere rule. By the way, the intersection between squares here is the point of origin. I've seen new players put an AoE in the middle of a square. That's wrong. If I make it red and put it like this, it's not a sphere. This is usually an emanation that's around the creature. Think Spirit Guardians, for example. Anyways, the circular sphere here. Most people agree this circle is a sphere on a grid, but it's technically incorrect. Here's why. If we look up what a sphere is on the internet, it says a sphere is a perfectly round three-dimensional geometric shape where every point on its surface is the exact same distance from a center point. Now remember, each square on a grid represents 5 feet, which means the shape of a sphere changes. With this circle on a grid, if we measure the sides here, we get 20 feet. That's correct. No problem. But once we measure diagonally, you'll notice we have a measurement of 15 feet. We're not getting 20 feet. We only get 20 feet if we measure vertically. The circle is not a sphere. Correct. Every point on its surface is not the exact same distance from the central point. If we measure it out vertically here, we finally get 20 feet. It's taking an extra square. The diagonal radiuses pushes beyond what would normally be the boundary of a circle, effectively warping it into a square. This square is a sphere. That's why circles are squares on a grid. Kobold, it looks like you boosted Fireball by making it look bigger. I didn't boost it though. I just followed the grid rules. Now guys, you can still draw a circle and count the corners as part of the AoE, which is correct. Most people from what I know do it that way, and that's completely fine. I have no problem with that. But I personally think at that point, we should just draw a square, because it's easier to see who gets affected or not when the sphere is the actual correct shape. Sometimes players forget that the corners here count as part of the AoE, because it doesn't look like it's affecting them. If I put a goblin here and remove this square shape, clearly this goblin is not being highlighted by the AoE, and that's a problem. So I say just make it a square. Circles are squares. End of video. By the way, this year I want to run a pay-to-play D&D campaign on Saturdays or Sundays for $50 a week. week. I'm looking for 6 players. If you're interested in playing, join my Discord and send me a private message. The campaign will either be a homebrew version of Dragon Delves or Mines of Phandelver. I haven't decided yet. I want to hear what you guys have to say first. As for the time, well, we'll figure that out. I'm a bit of a gamer, so I'm very flexible. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye-bye!